Peace and blessings, everyone. Grand Rising. Good morning. I know you probably like, dang, it's like after 10 o'clock, and she's talking about Grand Rising. I was supposed to go to work this morning. This is Black Dove, um, with a quick video about protection from evil spirits and entities, or even a person that's trying to do or that's doing magic to cause you harm with ill intent and evil intent. For two reasons. Two things happened over the weekend. One happened Saturday, and then the other one happened early this morning. Early this morning. Um, so the first one happened. My neighbor rang my doorbell because she had locked herself out of her apartment on Saturday, and she was in the process. I don't know, doing some things. I don't know if she was cleaning out or her house or what she was doing, y'all. Give me a second. Whew, anointing myself with some oil. And then in the midst of talking, just a little background. I'm lighting my Palo Santo stick to ask for a blessing and protection while I speak on some things and some spiritual protection and guidance. While I speak on some things. One thing I always do. So I call upon the creator of all things, the archangels and angels, the spirits, and my ancestors, guiding me on the path of truth and righteousness, protecting me from those that wish to do me harm, whether they be human beings or evil spirits. Ashe. So, back to what I was saying. But before I get into it, subscribe if you're new to my channel, like, and share this video. So, like I said, my neighbor had rang on my doorbell because she rang my doorbell because she locked herself out and she was banging on her door and her husband wasn't answering the door. And so while I was unlocking my phone, we were just having casual talk. And it came up that she had this container, this acrylic container in her hand, and it was full of things, but I couldn't really tell what it was. So I said to her, "Oh, what you got there? Decorations? You getting ready for the holidays?" Um, and then she showed me that they were those novelty candles, those little electric candles that you plug in, you put them in your window, and you light them up. A lot of people use them around Christmas time. I don't celebrate Christmas. She does. So she decorates her home. Um, and she had said to me, "Oh, no, um, somebody gave these to me. They told me that I could put them in my windows to protect my home from evil spirits." Right? And I was like, wow. Spirit really had her ring my doorbell because Spirit needed me to tell her that she was on the right path, but not utilizing what she really needs to use to protect her home. So a little background on my neighbor. I don't know if she's very religious. She has a hint of spirituality to her because a lot of times she'll come to me for incense. And I give her sage. So when she was talking about trying to protect her home from evil spirits, I instantly was like, "Oh, let me give you a Palo Santo stick. Just go around and bless your house." So then I started telling her, um, "You have some kosher sea salt. After you've blessed your house and you've burnt your Palo Santo stick, take the kosher sea salt and sprinkle it around your door frames and your window sills and your patio door, right?" So she was like, "Oh, the candles are not good." I said, "Don't use those candles. They're not real candles. And there's a certain candle you have to use. So they're novelty candles." And I said to her, "All they're going to do is light a way to a spirit right to your window, right to your home. You don't want to light the way to the wrong spirit like that." So I said, "Just do what I'm asking you to do. I'm going to give you, Let me go get the Palo Santo stick, burn the Palo Santo stick, say a little blessing, a little prayer, and then sprinkle some salt. If you don't have salt, I have salt that's already been blessed on my altar. I will pour it into a little cup for you, and you can sprinkle it around your door frames like that. But if you really want to use candles, I am now going to tell you guys what I told her, right? Before I get into what color candle to use, what herbs and essential oils you can use, let me go to what happened this morning. First, give you a little spiel on what happened this morning. So I woke up. It was around 1:30 this morning, and I'm always up through the night. I go to the bathroom. The cat will wake me up because my son has a cat, and cats are very nocturnal. The incense is blowing right up my nose, y'all. Um, Cats are very nocturnal. So the cat will get up. I want to say around 7, 8 o'clock, he comes up from hiding out of the closet or from underneath the bed. And then he'll start roaming around. So I went to bed. I got a phone call. A friend called me after I was done with my solar plexus meditation. And I took my phone off the stir. My phone rang. A friend called me, and I was talking to a friend. And then I was like, I'm ready to go to bed. I'm tired, and I got to go to work in the morning, right? So I went to bed. My son was still up, talking to a friend. And I told him, keep it down. I'm going to bed. Please. I fell asleep. I woke back up. It was around 1:30 in the morning. I noticed that my man was not in bed next to me, which was weird because he's a truck driver. He gets up early in the morning to drive a truck. But I knew around 7-Eleven, I had 7-Eleven at before I like yeah 7-Eleven. It was like 11 minutes after 7 p.m. when I texted him hey, and he texted me hey back, and I said um, to him, did you check that ticket, lottery ticket, because he had bought a lottery ticket, and usually he gives it to me to check. But he never gave it to me. So I said to him, did you check your ticket? And he said to me, no, not yet. And he was like, I'm watching a game or something like that. And I was like, oh, cool, have fun. So I figured, I knew he was out with his brother and his friends and his cousins. Um, so I figured he usually comes in around 11ish, right? Um, so it was surprising to me when I woke up at 1:30 that he wasn't in the bed asleep. So got up, went to the bathroom. The cat came over to me, started rubbing on me, ran over to the patio door. He wanted me to let him out onto the patio. And I was like, it's too cold for that. And the patio door was actually cracked open a little bit. So I pulled it closed and locked it. And the cat kept purring and rubbing up against my legs and almost tripped and made me fall. Right? So I walked back. As I was walking away, he almost tripped and made me fall. I turned around and went back to look and see if um, my man's SUV was out in the parking lot because maybe he was in his vehicle asleep. Because he does do that sometimes, especially if he's really tired. And I didn't see his SUV. So I instantly went back to the room, picked up my phone, and I had texted him. And I waited a few minutes because if he was asleep, if he had fell asleep, his phone would go off and wake him up. He would text me back, oh, I fell asleep. I'm on my way home. But he didn't do that. So the little voice said to me, pick up your phone, call him. So I called him, dialed, pressed his name, and it didn't even ring. It went right to voicemail like that. So we're talking 1:30 in the morning. It went right to voicemail. And I was like, something's wrong. Because if he had went to the city, because we live in Jersey, if he had went to the city to see about his father, because his stepmother passed away from cancer earlier this year. in May. Was it May? Yeah, it was in May. Um, because my mother had brain surgery in May on her tumor. She had a tumor in her brain. She had brain surgery. And right after my mom had brain surgery, his mom passed away from cancer, right? And so he had been going back and forth. Even prior to her passing away, he'd been going back and forth checking on his father because she was in the hospital on machine. She was in a coma. She was in a hospital on a machine. So if he had went to go see about his dad, he would have texted me or called me. I'm going to see about my dad. I'll see you in the morning. I'll be home in the morning, early in the morning to go to work. He didn't do that. So when I didn't get through to him the first time by calling him regularly through the regular phone, I opened up WhatsApp and I hit him on WhatsApp. And WhatsApp literally didn't even bother to ring. It just said unavailable. So I knew something was wrong. So I waited a while to see like if he would call or he would come in, right? I waited like 20 minutes after I texted him again. And I waited like 20 minutes because if he's with his brother, my brother-in-law, they don't live that far. So in like less than 20 minutes, he would be pulling into the parking his car, pulling into the space, parking his car. So I waited. That didn't happen. I listened for his car, his truck, his SUV. It didn't happen. So I knew something was wrong. So I then proceeded to pick up the phone again. So by this time, it's almost 2 o'clock, right? And the phone rings once and it goes to voicemail. So I hung up the phone. Like 12 minutes later, voice was like, call again. So I called again. It was like 12 after 2 at this point. I called him again. And then he picked up the phone. And I can hear panic, like terror. I won't say terror, but you can tell it was like concern and a little bit of fear in his voice. And I said, you know what time it is? You gotta be to work in a few hours. And he said, oh, I'm on my way home. I'm with my brother. I'm at my my sister's, and his brother lives there. Her sister got 3 kids. One of her kids has a child. Her husband, um, another cousin. It's a whole bunch of them that live there, right? It's a whole house full of family. And he said, I'm soaking wet. I woke up. I'm in the shower. My sister threw me in the shower. And I said, well, what's wrong? And he goes, oh, I had a spirit on me. And the spirit was saying all these things, and his sister is saved, sanctified, and holy, y'all. She's a Christian. I think she's a Seventh Day Adventist. Um, and she doesn't really. They're Haitian, right? Grew up in Haiti. I don't know. He's been here for maybe, I want to say 8, 9 years. I've been with him for 4 years. So they know voodoo. He's a Hugin. His father's a Hugin. There are a lot of people in his family that have gifts, just like I have gifts. Just like I come from a long lineage of people that have gifts and it's passed down through blood, right? Um, it's the same thing with his family. But his sister is such a devout Christian that she disregards all of the supernatural and where religion comes from, the real source of religion, right? Which I will eventually get into. I've mentioned it a couple of times. Mommy Watson, the Black Doves of Africa. You can look it up. But because he had that spirit on him, and he was at his sister's house, she threw him in the shower. She was trying to wash the spirit off. Guess I'm throwing him in the shower. So he was in the process. He had to be already on his way home. in his car. Um, because it was literally less than 10 minutes when I heard his truck backing into the space, backing in. And so I walked over to the patio door and I peeked through the curtain and I saw that it was him. He was out getting out the car. He was frantic. And I went to the door to open up the door and I put my finger up to my mouth because it was like two something in the morning and we have neighbors and I didn't want him to be loud. I didn't want him disturbing the neighbors' sleep because just like I got to get up in the morning and go to work, just like he got to get up go to work in the morning, we have neighbors that get up and go to work too, early in the morning. So when he came in, I said, "What happened?" He said, "You see me, I'm soaking wet." I said, "Yeah, but what happened?" He goes, "I had a spirit on me." He was like, "I don't know." I said, "What spirit was it?" "I don't know." "I don't know, baby. I don't know." "I don't know." I said, "You didn't ask?" I said, "Nobody asked what spirit it was." He said, "My brother was talking to it. My brother told me my brother tried to calm everybody down. Um, but my sister threw me in the shower. I'm soaking wet. I'm freezing cold." And I could tell that he was rattled, right? So I said to him, "When you home, you're okay. Um, but if you want answers, you need to know what spirit it was." He was like, "But I don't know." So we walk back to the bedroom, to our bedroom. He's getting undressed, putting on his pajamas. And I sit on the edge of the bed. And I said to him, "You only got a few hours to get some rest. You have to be up and to get out the door to go drive a truck because he's a truck driver, a CDL driver. He's a licensed CDL truck driver." And he lays down. And I'm still sitting on the bed. And I get up. And I said to him, "You want some water?" So I come out and I grab 2 bottles of water. I go back to the room. He's laying in the bed by the time I get back. And I open up the bottle of water. I give it to him. He sits up and he drinks some. And then he jumps up out of the bed and he's running towards the living room. So I follow him and I said, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And I already knew the answer. I knew the spirit whatever spirit was on him hadn't fully getting off of him or it was trying to come back onto him, right? So I said, he's just walking around in a circle frantic. I said, "Baby, you got to calm down. You have to calm down. Tell me what you need or tell me what's really going on and I will do what I need to do." So he goes back to the room and he's just like, I'm just trying to protect myself. I'm just trying to protect myself. So then I instantly come out to my rack, my baker's cart with all my fruits and vegetables and certain kinds of herbs on it, right? And I grab a lemon, I grab garlic, and I slice the lemon. I break off a piece of the garlic clove, and he's coming. He's coming. He comes back out to the living room. He meets me. He grabs the garlic in half. He grabs the garlic and he runs. He walks aggressively back to the to the bedroom. So I didn't say anything. He puts the garlic under his pillow. Now, me personally, on my side of the bed, I keep it lined with sage, dry sage that I use in the kitchen to cook. I line it with sage on my side of the bed. He puts the garlic under his pillow. I give him half the lemon. He starts sucking half the lemon, right? And he lays down. I have to give y'all why I'm making this video and why Spirit's leading me to talk about this because somebody might be experiencing this and don't even fully understand what they're experiencing. Like I go through this. I've been with my man for the past 4 years. I've experienced a lot of things with him. I've helped him through a lot of things. For a minute, I thought I was the trigger with his possession because I practice magic. I practice root work. I'm a prophetess. I'm a high priestess. I'm a empath. Um, Clairvoyant. I know how to interpret dreams, And I understand things that I shouldn't understand often. Majority of the time, I understand things that I shouldn't understand. I read energy. I could read a person. Um, I get flashes of a person's past, present, or future, right? I've helped people understand what they call deja vu. Deja vu is just a past life flowing, overflowing into this life, like a memory of a past life overflowing into your present life. And so I've seen a lot of things. I've been through a lot of things. But I had, in the 4 years that I've been with my man, I had never seen him so disturbed by the spirit that a spirit being on him, because it's happened plenty of times before. It happens to me. Um, I get downloads. I get downloads while I'm asleep. They're called dreams, visions, and I get them while I'm awake. Like I'll stare into space, sometimes mumbling, talking to someone, or I'll see something in my mind, or I hear it, right? Or I'll feel an energy and I'll know what it means. So me with my unshakable faith. Like most people probably would have been like, I'm not up for this shit. This is not for me. They'd become disturbed, afraid, and frantic. But I couldn't become disturbed, afraid, and frantic because he was already bothered by the experience. And he's a Hugin. Like, I'm Niji. If you don't know what a Niji is, it's Aboriginal American. It's an Aboriginal. The indigenous people of America are copper color, brown skinned people. Um, that whole thing about us coming aboard slave ships, it's a lie, but it's a subject for another time, right? But I'm just stating that. So, and there's a bit of Creole blood in my family too, on my maternal side. So, on both sides of my family, paternal and maternal, I have people that are gifted. My paternal grandmother, she had the gift of sight. She had visions. Um, my maternal grandmother, baby, I've never met her. She passed away. She left this realm before I was born, way before I was born, because I am six of seven children. I have five older siblings and one younger sister. Shout out to my sisters and my brothers. Shout out to my little sister. Really shout, because she's going to see this video. Of all my siblings, she'll probably be the one to see this video. So shout out to my little sister. But he was just bothering. I'm laughing, y'all, because I guess it's a nervous tick. I'm always giggling at shit that I shouldn't be giggling at sometimes. But I'm laughing because I had never seen my man so worried or so bothered by a possession. You know what I'm saying? And he was shaken by it. So when I finally got back into the bed, he said to me, "I'm cold, I'm freezing cold." Which sometimes after a spirit's been on him, he does get cold. So I had got into bed, he snuggled up to me. I put my leg around his legs to like pass on body heat to him, and then I put my arm around him. And he grabbed my arm and he held on tight to my hands, right? So I knew he was bothered by it because he held on tight to my hand. But as I'm laying there, y'all, being an empath, and being able to feel energy and recognize different energies, the energy that was on him. Let me say this before I say get into how it made me feel. Me and my man been together this past August 4 years, right? From the moment I met him, I was instantly connected to him. I felt calm, peace, protected, right? I didn't feel uncomfortable around him at all. Even when he's possessed by spirits or him or he's talking to spirits, right? Or spirits start talking through him. I'm laughing and I shouldn't be laughing. But um I've never felt what I felt this morning. Even after I've absorbed energy or I've given energy to people because I'm a healer, a lot of my energy, my hands go off a lot. So candles that I make are healing candles. Um, I charge and set intentions on crystals for customers and clients and friends and anybody who I come across and they need help, right? And a lot of the time I do this for free. I'm not charging. I will start charging for my abilities, my gifts, my services. But I laid down in the bed, put my arm around him, and we were settling in to go to sleep. And this energy hit my chest, my heart chakra, and my heart instantly started to palpitate. Palpitate. And then after my heart started palpitating, I felt like the wind was being knocked out of me. No lie. I felt like the wind was being knocked out of me. So I instantly started coughing, coughing, almost like I was trying to clear something out of my lungs, like I was sick or something, right? And mind you, prior to that, I had been sleeping in the bed and up, moving around, and I wasn't coughing, and my heart wasn't palpitating, or none of that. So my spirit guys let me know, my intuition, I knew instantly that it was whatever spirit was on him. And I sat up and I started to meditate and I started to pray, right? And and just asking for protection for him, for my sons, for my son, his son, for me, for our entire family, including the people that live in this building. Because at this point, I don't know what this spirit is. I didn't speak to the spirit. I didn't get the spirit's name. And that's what I would normally do. Ask who the spirit was, what he's here for, what does he want, and things like that, right? Because like I said, I've spoken to many spirits through possession and just downloads and being out and about. Like I'll go to my family cemetery and I speak to all kinds of family members and other spirits. I even call spirits. Like I'll get to it another time, but I can even call spirits and angels. I have the ability to call up spirits. I did not call the spirit. Just an FYI, he wasn't home. I didn't call it. Um, don't know who the spirit was, but the energy was definitely not fully wicked or evil or malevolent, but it was definitely not of love. Like there, it was heavy because it made my heart palpitate and it started to suck, like knock the air out of me. It was heavy, y'all. It was real heavy. I started to like do a little oh, I was like, oh, trying to shake it, that the feeling off of me because I was feeling it, right? And I could tell that it was not good energy that was on him. So after I got up, I said a prayer, I meditated, I knew instantly my spiritual team was front and center. You understand? Front and center. It wasn't going down. Like whatever it wasn't going down. Because my spiritual team is on fleek. They was not having it. So I laid back down And he instantly grabbed my hand and wrapped my hand around him. And 4 years, I had never experienced my man in that way. Like there was a bit of fear. There was a bit of fear there for him. He was concerned. He was definitely bothered, I should say. He was definitely disturbed and bothered by this particular possession. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was definitely bothered by it. Um, with that being said, herbs and essential oils you can use for protection. Garlic is one of them. Lemon is another one of them. But basic ones you have around your house, I'm going to give you some basic ones you probably more than likely have around your house. And then some ones that you most likely don't have around your house, and you will have to go to a botanica, a spiritual shop, or even like an East Meets West, because that's one of those eclectic type of stores, right? Some people refer to them as New Age, but there's nothing New Age about it. It's old science, it's old spirituality, it's the root of most religions being passed off as New Age. Because they don't really want you to know where religion comes from: Christianity, Judaism, Catholics, Muslim, real science, the real mathematics of science, universal science. Is one of the things is root work. People think root work and they think magic. Root work is pretty much using herbs for protection and healing and that sort of those sort of type of things, right? So common household herbs that you most likely have in your house that are good for protecting against evil spirits, evil magic, ill and people that have ill intent towards you, that negative, hateful energy, are basil. People make chili, they make pasta. Um, I'm sure you're using basil. It's a common household herb that people use to cook. Thyme. Um, I make a lot of things with thyme. I make Caribbean dishes with thyme, stewed chicken. I use thyme. So if you make any kind of stewed chicken and you have thyme in your house, you can use thyme for protection. Sage, as I said before, I line my bed with sage. Um, it's used for protection against evil spirits, malevolent entities, and people who are doing witchcraft magic to cause you harm. Rosemary, I don't know if I said rosemary. Dill, oregano, these are common herbs that you most likely have in your house that you don't have to go searching for, or that you can get from the supermarket, where you don't have to go to a botanica or some kind of spiritual shop or a East Meets West, one of these so-called New Age shops, to protect yourself from harm, from evil intent, people that wish you harm. But then there's other herbs like angelica root, which I keep on hand. Angelica root, something's in my eye, an eyelash or something. Another one that you'd have to get from like a New Age shop, a spiritual shop, a botanica, is mugwort. That's also another one. But you can also get these as a, so you can buy the herbs, you can get essential oils. I use a local shop in New Jersey because I live in New Jersey. It's not in my town. Um, it's a little north of me, but I buy it and then I get it. I order it online and then I get it within a couple of days. So I take the herbs and then I take the essential oils and I rub them on a black candle. Black candles are good for protecting against evil or magic that's ill intent, or wish to cause you harm, right? So I'm sharing this because I had a neighbor who had a concern about evil energy, evil spirits, or ill intent towards from people. And then the experience with my boyfriend that he had this morning, it had him, it had him shook. It had him shook. Yeah, it had him shook. Whatever spirit was on him, whatever spirit was looking for an audience. I had never seen him as a Hugin, as a Haitian man who grew up around voodoo and magic, and I had never seen him. I don't want to say afraid or scared, but he was definitely bothered by the occurrence for sure. He was definitely bothered by the occurrence, and I had never seen it to the point where he got up this morning to go out the door for work. He took that lemon that I had sliced up right along with him. You understand? He took the lemon right with him, and I had never in my life seen it. So when I woke up this morning, I woke up to get ready for work, and my son told me he wasn't feeling good. So I said, "Don't worry, stay home from school, right?" Um, and then I text my job and told my job I wasn't coming in, that my son was sick. So I get up every morning and I light my incense on my altar and I light my Palo Santo stick and I do my little blessing. And I was making up my bed as I was playing some meditation music after I had light my incense, lit my Palo Santo, said my blessing. Um, and it was still on my mind what happened. And then as I was thinking about the whole weekend, I knew that it was not a coincidence because there's no such thing as a coincidence that my neighbor, that my neighbor, who I mentioned to y'all earlier in this video, and my man both have that whole going on that I know it is meant for me to make this video and say to somebody who's on a spiritual journey, right? And looking for spiritual growth and spiritual elevation and to increase their frequency, you're going to experience spirits trying to block you because the truth of the matter is there is a spiritual war between good and bad going on that you can't see with your physical eyes often, a lot of times, right? And someone needs to know how to protect themselves. Someone does need to know. So, several ways. I'm going to go back through them before I end this video. Do me a favor, guys. This is Black Dove. Subscribe, like, and share this video. Do a house cleansing, a house clearing. You can use sage, Palo Santo stick, burn them, say your blessing, say your prayer. Get a black candle. I gave you a long list of herbs. I'll repeat them. The ones that are common that you most likely have in your house is basil, rosemary, thyme, oregano, dill, and bay laurel, bay leaves. Those are common household herbs that you can buy from the grocery store, dry or fresh if you go to like a farmer's market. Um, and then some that are not common that you might have to get from a botanica, a new age shop, a spiritual shop, angelica root, and mugwort. I buy them. You could buy them actually, not a plug for this company, but I buy herbs from them in bulk. Um, Mountain Rose, it's in it's in the US. Midwest, I want to say somewheres. I buy a big bag of mugwort. I don't know how big the bag is, but it's a pretty decent sized bag. I've had it for a few years. I haven't had to buy a new one yet. I also get herbs from a local place in New Jersey because I do live in New Jersey and they're north of me. I think they're in Plainfield. For anybody who's come across this video and they're in New Jersey, they're in Plainfield. They're called the company is called Plant Guru. And for those who are not in New Jersey, Google Plant Guru. They're in New Jersey. I think Plainfield somewhere is North Plainfield, South Plainfield, but that area. And they sell essential oils, they sell herbs, they sell unscented incense, which I also buy from them, and then I make my own incense mix, um, and make my own incense. Right? You can put kosher sea salt down or Himalayan chunks. I like the big old Himalayan chunks of salt. You put them around your door frames, above your door frames, around your windowsills, just to protect, because it's real, whether you want to believe it or not. It's real. It's a real thing. And it's no coincidence that my neighbor and my man both had, I won't say evil, but definitely mischievous. Definitely something that's not bound to a spirit that could be both malevolent and benevolent at the same time, depending on, right? The energy was definitely not that of a loving. It didn't leave behind a light, loving energy. It was heavy. It was heavy because it almost knocked the wind out of my chest. My heart started racing when I started to absorb it off of him, right? So, with that being said, um, be good to one another, not just your loved ones and your family and your friends, but strangers. Be kind to each other. We are all we are higher beings here to experience what it is to be human. And it is our job to take care of each other and look out for each other. So set good intentions because if you do good, it will come back to you. Trust me. I am living proof that if you do good, good would come back to you. I've always felt like I'm too nice and I get walked all over, right? And we as human beings, we tend to forget um, that we're not just here to live a life, but we're also here to be a blessing to each other, to help each other along the way. And there's one thing I always say to my son. I always try to do the right thing, even when it's hurtful and harmful to me. Even when it's exhausting for me. I always try to do the right thing. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I'm so flawed, y'all. It's ridiculous. But I've never wished anyone harm. I would never, even when they wished me harm. I always just wait and let the universe return it back to them. Return to sender. And I don't oftentimes say return to sender, but universe takes care of it for me, it protects me so that it returns that shit right back to a person. So protect yourself. Always be mindful of your thoughts. Ill thoughts, ill thoughts, fear, it is a blockage. Because the reality is that God's time is much faster than us. Everybody be like, oh, He'll do it in his time. Newsflash, his time will be like that. Like, like you sneeze, it's real quick. We be the ones blocking it. We be blocking our own blessings with our fear, with our negative thoughts, our negative actions towards ourselves or towards others. We're the ones blocking it. We're the ones holding it up. Universe, spirit, angels, they'll be like, I'm trying to push this through to you, but you're in your own way. You're in your own way. So be good to each other and be good to yourself. And be mindful of your negative thoughts, the fear of something, of doing something, right? Of stepping out on faith. Don't worry too much about it because you definitely have a spiritual team that's backing you, that wants to see you win. They know you need money to pay bills and live in this realm. They know you need it. They're not denying it to you. Most of the time, we're in our own way. Most of the time, we're in our own way. We're the ones blocking our blessings. So don't block your blessings, yo. Don't block your blessings. Be good. Protect yourself from evil for those who wish to do you harm. And even if they wish to do you harm, just let the universe take care of it because they'll send it right back to them. Karma is a real thing. And everybody has a karmic debt to pay based on their their works, their deeds, their intentions. If it's good, it's going to be good. If it's bad, then you're going to get exactly what you put out. Until next time, peace, love, joy, true happiness, true love, because it is a thing. It is a real thing. It is a real thing. And everybody deserves it. Everybody deserves it. Take care of each other, guys. Love you.